Hello everyone and welcome to the SETNet preparation of English literature examination. So I welcome you all for the very first lecture, better say discussion, and today we are going to discuss about various mistakes that candidate commit while preparing the SETNet examination of English, as well as certain books that I'm going to discuss about. And if you really want to stay connected, please subscribe and be connected with the channel. So let's start. First of all, we have to understand the syllabus is, and whatever the syllabus over the period has changed, there is not that much of difference. Okay, they have just changed the sections from the eras into the genres. Okay, such as drama, poetry, fiction, and non-fictional prose. But we can prepare these sections with the better say era wise. Okay, there is no need of just focusing specially from the point of view of genre, such as studying drama separately, poetry separately. We can study these sections, these units with the basic eras of English literature, such as from the old English literature to postmodern literature. Okay, these are the 4 units, and we have next 6 units that we have. So we have to prepare each and every section. Okay, don't assume that we will just read history and clear this exam, but we have to focus from each and every unit of the syllabus. So if we look at the syllabus, we have first 4 units such as about the genres, but next we have to prepare language. Okay, we need to focus separately on language. Then English in India, cultural studies, literary criticism, literary theory post World War II, research methods and materials in English. So and this is the syllabus, and we are going to discuss the basic books. Okay, whatever the books I think, okay, it's my personal opinion. There might be some other books as well. There might be some other guidance you might get outside of this video. That's your point of view. But my opinion, whatever the books I say is a must, then it must be must from my point of view. So you must read these books. Okay, there is a lot of material available, but we have to apply selection and rejection. We can't read that much literature, whatever the material that we have. Okay, there are so many books, but we have to focus on those books which are important. Those books actually help us to focus, pinpointed our focus. Okay, so as this is just a raw segregation of these books available according to the units. Okay, but if we look, I have made it as a single unit of these genres such as drama, poetry, fiction, short story, and non-fiction. The next slides as well. Look at what we and why we fail for examination. This is not that much uh, difficult exam, or you will find if you prepare consistently. Okay, one of that is we do not plan. As Benjamin Franklin has said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So we must have strategy. Okay, we must have planning. So what should we plan? Okay, we will discuss that in the next few lectures, that how to plan for this exam. So if you do not plan, okay, plan according to your time, how much time you have, when you started. Okay, according to that we have to make planning. We have to give each and every section its time. Okay, don't just focus on genres, okay, such as drama, poetry, or history. We have lots of things to study, okay, such as literature, cultural studies, even English in India. But remember that most of the weightage has been given to these 4 units. Okay, these 4 units, and literary criticism, literary theory. Okay, these units are most important. So plan according to the units, how much units that we have. Don't just focus on the language or history of English in India or Indian writing in English. So major, we have to focus on major and allot our time according to the time plan. Next, not reviewing previous reading. Okay, once we read and we leave it for so many months, so whatever you read, make it brief notes, try to review, try to mark with the highlighter so that we can revive whatever we have read. Okay, it doesn't mean you will read and leave it for months and after the exam. So we have to revive whatever you have read. Okay, once reading is not sufficient, we have to reread to consolidate the ideas and concepts and dates, and so many things are there. Next, one of the biggest mistake is no focus on previous year's question papers. Remember that if you solve previous 5 years question paper, you will have a clear cut understanding why we need to study these previous question papers. We need to study these previous question papers because we must have a framework. Okay, what framework? Means how many questions from poetry are there? Okay, then criticism. Okay, theory. Okay, literary terms, how many questions they have been asking. So the pattern every time gets changed. Okay, it doesn't mean they will ask everything about poetry, but the segregation, the pattern of their focus, even some questions get repeated. So that's point of view, we need to focus on question papers. Okay, make segregation as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, poetry, drama, criticism, and look at in each question paper how many questions they have asked. On poetry, how many questions they have asked. On drama, on theory, criticism, history, language, Indian writing in English. So make segregation and focus accordingly. For example, there are two questions on Nobel laureate. Is it? So look, here we have. So we have to focus. Remember that we have to plan differently. We have to focus according to the question paper. Okay, don't be so dedicated to just read. There are so many students who just want to read history. I love reading history. No, that will not give you success. We have to focus pinpointedly whatever the focus of question paper, according to that you will get result very quickly. So not focusing on previous year's question paper is one of the mistakes that students commit. Next, we have not preparing notes. Okay, whenever you read a book, okay, summarize it, summarize major points, main points into your own writing, so that you will have the second reading in an hour. अगर आप एक बुक रीड कर रहे हैं और उस बुक 400 पेजेस का वो बुक है, इसमें से आपने फर्स्ट रीडिंग इट्स ओके, बट फॉर सेकंड रीडिंग यू कैन मेक पॉइंट्स. ओके, you can write your own points, you can have your own notes. Okay, don't be lazy, we have to prepare our notes. Okay, that is one of the mistakes. Then whatever I have seen and me myself have experienced, that slacking down after examination, this is the one of the biggest mistake. What we do when the exam gets over, we get free. It is the time. Okay, when the iron is out, when you leave the exam and for next few weeks you get holiday, in next few weeks you get off. It's not the way. You have so much reading. Okay, before exam you read a lot, and after the month, after the examination, after a month you destroy everything that you have read. So what is the best time? Best time is after examination, second day. From the second day of exam, start preparing for the next exam. Remember that. So if we have read everything, we have almost collected everything about the syllabus, and we give a lot of time to forget that. So this is the right time when you आपकी जब एग्जाम खत्म होते हैं उसके दूसरे दिन से प्रिपरेशन चालू करना है अगले एग्जाम का. One of the another reason is that so many students think that okay, there is next attempt. Okay, there is my state eligibility test, I'll do that. No. Prepare exam that it is your final exam. Okay. So don't get slack that there are so many attempts. There is a slate exam, there is a net exam, there are 4 attempts in each year. I will do it in a year. No, there are so many students who have passed in a period. Why? Because they have dedicated their time. They are so desperate to pass the examination. Okay, I just digress from our main point and will tell you few things. I have told it so many times to my students, and one of that is a story of Socrates and his pupil. Uh, there was a pupil of Socrates, and he wasn't getting success in whatever endeavor he had. So he went to him and told Socrates, "Sir, I'm not getting success. I have tried so many times. I have failed. What should I do?" Socrates told him, "At a sunset, come to seashore." And the pupil, as told, went there. And Socrates and pupil went inside the sea, okay, to the waves. Socrates put his hand on pupil's shoulder and took him inside the sea for the knee level water. After a few minutes, they kept walking inside the sea, and almost to the waist level water they went in, and Socrates took hold of the pupil's neck and just drowned him, pushed him into the water by holding his hand and his neck. He didn't let him for almost 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and after 60 seconds he pulled him out. The pupil was so desperate. He told Socrates, "What was you doing?" "I was about to die." Socrates told, "Yes, I know that. So what? What do you want to prove? Are you going to kill me?" "No, no, no." Socrates told him that it is what did you need in the water? What was extremely important for you water during you were in water? The pupil told, obviously it was air, oxygen. Then Socrates told him that, so how desperate you needed oxygen? This pupil told, extremely, obviously, extremely I needed. I was so desperate for. So that's the matter. If you are really desperate for your success, you will get it. So be desperate for examination. Don't slack down and prepare that this is the final exam. Sorry for digression. Next we have there are some question papers I have, but we don't have time. We have to make it brief. There are so many questions I have taken for discussion. Okay. Next, as I told you, there are some essential books for UGC NET set preparation. One of those are, better say, okay, outline history of English literature. I say keep it as a copy for you. Okay. Okay. When you get spare time, read it, but not for now. Whatever I tell, get this book, but read some other day. Okay. Not for exactly what I say. Okay. After reading so many histories, you can read this history. Okay. But what I recommend is this one is also you can have, but as a copy for you. Okay. Reading in spare time some other day. It is these both of the books are best, but these are not best to begin. Okay. Uh, begin. You must begin with Edward Albert. I say it's a Bible. Don't be. I shouldn't write it. Okay. So it is why it is. I call it the Bible. I have a copy. I shouldn't get personal. Or better to the point. Uh, so why this book is so important? Because in this book you will find basic focus of examination. Basic means how to prepare. This book will tell you, but we have to focus from that point of view. How? Look at, first of all, what we have to do? There are sections. Okay. One of the thing that I liked about this book is minor, about, major, and major, about, minor. Do you get the point? Okay. So minor about major, major about minor. This is the success key for the examination. From my point of view, there are so many might um, uh, say that I'm wrong, but I might be, but I think this is the matter that make the difference. Minor about major. What does that mean? That means if I read entire history, I can't focus on a writer of Beowulf. Okay, what I have to do? For example, if Shakespeare, I am reading Shakespeare, he is a major author. Am I right? I have to get minor details about Shakespeare, even when he was born, where he was born, what works he had. Okay, so so uh, what we have to do? As what I have had been, there was disturbance. So I have to study minor details about the major. Is it? Next, these are the minor about major and major about minor. If there is a minor writer, okay, Abraham Cowley, suppose, I have to read just major things about Abraham Cowley, not minor. I am not going to read about where he was born, what his life was, nothing. But when I'm reading Shakespeare, he is a major, one of the major. I have to read minor things about him. So this book is all about that. What we have to do? This book has made a segregation about major and minor writers. Okay. At the same time, there is a development of poetry, a novel, and drama. For each era, how genre has been developed has been given in this book. So I recommend this book must to begin for the reading of English literature or history of English literature. So you must buy this book, must, and then you can read the book as I told about Routledge. First this and second for that one. Again, one of the I say we we I M P. If you read a question paper, you will find at least 15 to 20 questions, 15 of both. Now there is no second paper, so better say at least 10 to 15 questions you will find from this book. That's why this is another Bible that you must have. Okay, you must have this book. Okay, whatever the edition that you have, at the initial level you will find it difficult to read, but as your reading progresses, the more you read, more you will understand, and more pinpointed focus should be there. Each and every line of this book you should read with focus. Okay, it is so compressed, it is so important. There is everything about, there are term, there is theory, there is history, there is writer, there is poem, there is poetic appreciation as well. So we have to read this book line by line. Okay, close reading. Okay, squeeze like a lemon and read it. So this must have it. Next, as I said, begin with Edward Albert and then move on to Andrew Sanders. This is also IMP. You must have this book. Okay, I say must. This is the third book I am telling that you must have. First was Edward Albert, second Glossary, and third Andrew Sanders. Okay. As I say, if you find difficult at initial level, first reading it might be difficult, but when you read for second time, third time, you will find and make notes of your own. This is one of the important book, as I said. And next, History. Only three books I recommend of history: Albert, Andrew Sanders, and Ronald Carter. This is also, you must have this book. Okay, three books of history and one of glossary. Next, literary theory. Now we are turning toward theory and criticism. Literary theory and criticism. Uh, Before reading Apik and Iyer, we have to read Beginning Theory by Peter Berry. Okay, this is must that you have. You can't read better than any other book. And this is the one of the best book in my opinion to start begin the theory, literary theory. Okay, read this book and then we can read P.K. Nair. So whatever, this is the fourth book. Okay, you must have Peter Berry and P.K. Nair. Both of these books are what we say very important for theory and criticism. I recommend it. Penguin Dictionary of Literary Terms. Nowadays, there is not much focus on literary theory as it was in a few years ago. Have this book for a reference and for understanding. I do not recommend, but this is also one of the jewels you must have in your library. Okay. Next, spectrum of literary criticism. I don't have copy of that one. Okay, this one is also good book, history and principle of literary criticism, but what we say, I do not recommend by Raghukal Tilak. I recommend instead of this book, I recommend Spectrum of Literary Criticism. Not sure whether you will get it in your bookshop. You might get it on Amazon or Flipkart. Probably, I'm not sure about that. So Ashok Thorat and et al. Better say others. So spectrum of literary criticism for Plato to I.A. Richards. Okay, from the ancient to the postmodern, you will find everything in this book. Buy this book as well. B. Prasad, parallelly read Spectrum and B. Prasad's book, that is Introduction to Criticism. Either you can even skip Spectrum and buy this one as well, but both of the books are good. Whatever you find in Spectrum Literary Criticism is abbreviation of B. Prasad. Okay, B. Prasad, and it is not, it can't be called as abbreviation, but it's shortened form. Okay, so Spectrum I recommend, as well as you can read B. Prasad if you have. But both of these books are very important for criticism. Plato to I. Richards, or postmodern criticism, or before theory. Next, Habib, literary criticism from Plato to the present. Okay, this is what we say advanced book. First, we have to read Peter Berry, and then we have to turn to this. This I recommend nowadays for having your library. You can even read it. Okay, and it is also one of the important book. You must have. Okay, it's again say must. Next, now after reading everything, after you have consolidated data, you have your notes, you have read a lot. After for revising, we must have some books. Don't rely this book solely. Okay, सिर्फ यही study करना है ऐसा मत सोचो. This is for from different point of view, for reading and for something that you might have skipped, something that you missed. So that's why I recommend of Arihant's objective book, or better say NTA UGC English Literatures objective. There are question papers and objective according to era. Okay, next, Truman's, this one also I recommend. I'm just talking about the paper second, not first, but even you can go Truman for the paper first as well, in my opinion. So I think that's all for the books that we have recommended. Now there are some other sources from which we can also study. Okay, one of that is, and one of well-known source is Wikipedia. Whatever the hallmarks of English literature you find, go search in Wikipedia, get information, get it print, okay, compile it into a binding or staple it and keep it for reading. So that's from that point of view we have to, and Wikipedia is one of the authentic source that we can follow. Next, we have Grade 7 website. There are some websites that give very nice information about these. That is, one of that is Grade 7. You will find summaries, even understanding of some poems. Okay, Spark Notes. We can find this book, or better say, in this website you will find so many summaries. Okay, important book summaries from different points of view. Spark Note is one of the best way of studying individual work. It's summary because we cannot study each and everything uh, solely, means complete works. We cannot read entire Shakespeare. We have to read Spark Notes and it's done. Okay. Then Encyclopedia Britannica, you can go for that one as well. Okay. And one more thing, that is Cliff Notes. All these websites are very important for studying individual work and its summaries and other things. Okay. So everything is done, but one more section that I missed, and that one is practical criticism, that is poetic appreciation. Okay, for that you can buy Practical Criticism by Sethu and Raman. Buy this book, Practical Criticism. Sethu and Raman. This one is, don't go anywhere else, just read this book, that's sufficient, because there are so many questions on practical criticism. Almost 10 questions were in the previous exam. So I think that's all, and thank you for staying tuned with me. And if you want to be part of our discussion, please subscribe, and just write in a comment box what you want to discuss in the next video. I'll prepare from that point of view, or otherwise even we can have online discussion as well. Okay, see you all, bye.